Hey comic book fans, welcome to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and guys, you're at another 2.0 comic book review. That's right guys, today we are talking about East of West issue number 1. Now I know this might be a little bit late for a review, but I did have some requests on actually reviewing this book and my thoughts on this book, and I actually talked about it a little bit on the Spider Slayers comic book countdown, and I also talked about it on the live show last night on how good this comic was. So today, before I get my new comics, I wanted to talk about East of West and if people should buy it, is it worth the read, and is it a good book. So based off of the first issue, I'm going to say yes, this was a great book. If you guys are not familiar with the writer, it's Jonathan Hickman, who writes some crazy ass stuff out there, and some of it's just way out there, and things don't always fit and are put together, but you know, this was an original story and the artwork was great, and that's what just made it so fantastic in itself. The artist in this book is done by Nick Dragotta, and the art is just phenomenal stuff to look at. Here is your opening pages with these four horsemen kids, and as the issue goes along, it's just a visual treat. It's got Hickman's stamp all over it, where, you know, in between pages you have the title, and on the last page you have the map of the United States. Really great stuff. This is somewhat of a violent book. Here you can see on the back that there's some just crazy stuff going on. There's like decapitated people in here. Look, I'll show you this last page here. There's that. Really great stuff. And our book opens up with like this Stonehenge type of thing, and you're like, what the hell is this? And it's nighttime and it's space, and all of a sudden things start charging up and all this electricity starts going on, and there's this phenomenon that's happening, and you get these creatures or these kids popping out of the ground. You're like, dude, what the hell is this? And they start coming out, and it's like 3 of them, and they're all weird looking, you know, but they're all like kids, and one of their members had died. Now supposedly, from what I heard, is that this is like the 4 horsemen during the apocalypse, and one of them did not make it, so it was pretty weird. And then the book, you know, takes a pause, and it goes into the history of all this stuff, which I'm kind of bad at comprehending when it comes to like all this history and all this other stuff that goes on, but it obviously has to do with the story or the past history. And then it goes on to this one thing where it says the 3 were one, and the 1, it was the story of the world's end, and they mean like this like Triforce looking 3, where there's the 1, there's the 2, and then there's the 3, and this is the 1 that ends it all. So it's pretty weird. And so after all this historic stuff, you go into present day, which is, I guess, into the future, and you have this cowboy looking guy who's all, you know, white, and he has his Indian, and then he has another person, I guess she's an Indian too, and it's kind of like during the Civil War times, like where it's taking place, and they don't want anything to do with the Indians, and these guys are just like, what the hell's going on? You're not welcomed here. We're not going to serve you. And Mr. Cowboy here sits there and says, well, you know what? That's not going to happen around here. So as he's talking to the bartender, you can see all things getting chopped up into little pieces, and you see the evil in this guy's eyes, and you're just like, dude, what the hell is going on? And then what happens is it flashes back, and you see the bartender here. You see him right there. Okay, and then you see other characters too that obviously seen this guy, and the bartender is like, it's you, and he's got like his eyeball popping up saying that, and you're just like, whoa. And then he's got his freaking the pistols in his mouth, and just wild stuff that happens in this particular issue. And you get to see like this cool futuristic I guess Western type of world where our cowboy guy is sitting here riding this weird mechanical horse. Just where does Hickman come up with this stuff? Just amazing. Then it goes back into the year 2064 during the apocalypse, year 1. And it has like our 4 horsemen people like taking care of all these, I don't know, dead people or killing people. And they're talking about themselves, like how they were great warriors and now they've been reformed into these children. And there's this person that's alive. And the next thing you see, he's like, please, please help me, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, who are you? And we're the 4 horsemen. And then he goes, but there's 3 of you. And they get all pissed off, and they start stomping on the guy until he's like dead. And then in the background you see that symbol, you know, that's on this entire book. Later in the issue, you go to what is the futuristic White House, which is called the White Tower. And I love this page. I'm like, dude, this page is awesome, you know. And our cowboy friend here goes up to the president, and he starts talking stuff. And the president wants him out. And he's like, you know, I can call Secret Service, and they can have you removed in no time. And we see these little flashbacks again, and it goes and it shows the president here. So he's on the Cowboys president. We still don't know the Cowboys' name. And the president starts freaking out. He starts running away, and he's like, I'm going to get my men. He's like, I'm leaving, you know. And he's like, well, whatever. He's like, there's no salvation out there, Mr. President. And the next thing you see is, you see the whole hallway just full of dead bodies. President's shocked. He's like, oh my God, what the heck's going on? Next thing you see is the Cowboys blast his kneecap. It's like, bam, and he's gone, you know. It's like, oh, damn. Next thing you see, he's like, he's like, we killed you. And then you just see the anger in the cowboy, and he goes, no, what you did was worse. And he goes, I don't have what you're looking for. And he goes, I know. It's like, I can help. Not looking for help today. Then what is this? And then all of a sudden he just, you know, he goes out and he just shoots the president. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like dead. And not only is he dead, but his head's been decapitated. And then that's the end of the issue. And you're like, holy God, you know. So then you see the world as it is, and it's all numbered in these triangle forms. And number 4, which is the big section, I guess where we are now, is Armistice, and then there's the Union and Confederacy, the Burning Plain, the Endless Nation. Just really cool stuff. This is like what I love about Image Comics and its independent books. Some of them are just so good, and when you have Hickman involved in it, and he did the Manhattan Projects, was a little bit way too out there for me. This seems a little bit more understandable, but just these original comics is what makes Image so good, and I find myself truly interested to see what is going to take place in the future of this series. It's just, it can be anywhere, but it was really good. Again, the artwork was nice. 5 out of 5-star book just for the creativity and artwork alone. Something I haven't seen before, and this is what makes a good book. So a recommendation for all of you out there, if you're looking for something else to read besides our capes and cloaks and heroes and all that stuff that we see every day, East of West is the book to pick up. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this 2.0 comic book review, and this is Mike Spider Slayer from Comic Book Corner 2.0 signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon. Bye.